Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
And welcome to the Comic Queens podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Annie. And today we're extremely excited to talk about some of our favorite office romance stories that we've been reading recently. I will say, Alex and I are headed to New York City for a little trip for my office. So it just kind of felt right, since this is a genre that we love, to do a very focused episode on some of the titles we enjoy. I know we have a lot of them. So we literally had a list of like 16 different titles and had to dwindle it down from there. But we chose 4 that we've been either reading recently or that we just feel like come top of mind whenever we're wanting to read an office romance specifically. So, Alex, what office romance have you been reading recently?
Okay, so the first, and in my opinion, probably best office romance that I have ever read is You Get Me Going. We have talked about this one previously in our Moscaretto episode, but when we talked about it, it was very early on, and we were only talking about the Manta version. The Manta version is still ongoing. There are 25 episodes out currently, and we have also read this one on Leezen, and it is completed on Leezen. So today, when we talk about this, we will be giving spoilers. If you are only reading Manta, we have read ahead from there, or even if you are interested in the Leezen one but haven't read it, we're going to walk all the way through it today because this is just absolute perfection.
I love this story.
Yeah.
It was so worth it. I know we've talked about it on other episodes, but this is one of the webcomics where I just feel like putting in the coins and getting the 18 plus version is good for the context.
It really is. There is a specific intimate moment that they have that you really miss the details, and it kind of takes their relationship to a whole new level. And it doesn't make as much sense in the Manta version. You kind of see, you just don't get how we got from point A to point B. Mm-hmm. And in the Leezen version, you get it. You see how they kind of made that next jump and how the communication that they have in their moment really helped them out.
Yeah.
So that aside, this story, if you are not familiar with it at all, is about Yangwon Ko and Hyunwoo Kang, and they both work at a car company in the research and development department as engineers. Mm-hmm. And this is an enemies to lovers, opposites attract, all of the buzzwords that I absolutely love.
Every single one.
Office romance. I mean, really, it's just like a popcorn bowl of everything that I love.
Boy, love. Enemies to lovers. They're just like throwing it at you.
Yeah. It was just like, Alex, read this story. So I did. So we start off with Yangwon and Hyunwoo, and it just shows them that they do not get along. They're in a meeting together. Hyunwoo is basically just saying, Yangwon, your work is not good. You need to step it up some. I disagree with your findings. We need to like redo this whole thing. And Yangwon is just like not having it.
Yeah.
So we also find out that Yangwon has a bad history of dating. He's just kind of reminiscing that he's like a really romantic person, but has not really had a lot of romance in his life. He hasn't had time for it. He's had some bad relationship experiences, and he just feels like people don't really put in that effort to be romantic and be the kind of romantic partner that he desires. But he's hoping that changes on his blind date set up by his friend, Jin-tae, who is a restaurant owner. So Jin-tae says, hey, come to my restaurant. I've got a blind date for you. I think that you're going to love him. This is going to be great. Mm-hmm. So he goes to this blind date, and who is on this blind date? Hyunwoo.
This part was so freaking funny to me because Jin-tae had no idea they knew each other.
I know, which you'd think, like, I actually was thinking about this when I reread this later on. How did he not know? If he's friends with both of them, like, it has to be more casual acquaintance than friend, like, close friend, to not know that they both work for the same company. Unless it's, like, a huge company.
He knows they work for the same company, but it's a big company. Yeah. So he was like, oh, you guys are in the same kind of fields.
But it's like he knows they do the same thing. I don't know. It's a little suspicious. Maybe he was the mastermind behind it the whole time.
He just knew.
He like, knew.
I see the energy.
So the date doesn't go well.
No.
Because they don't like each other. So they're on this date. And Yeonwang has apparently been saying all day that he's going on a date with someone that he likes because he just was, trying to kind of talk up his blind date, get hyped up for it. And so Hyunwoo was like, do you like me? They both kind of walk away from this experience, like, not super happy with it. Mm-hmm. And Jin-tae is like, I'm so sorry. I have made a grave mistake. So we kind of jump forward, and they both have to go on a business trip together. Mm-hmm. Another one of our favorite tropes gets thrown in there. There is only one hotel room with a single bed that they have to share.
I'm not going to lie. I've never seen this happen in real life.
I have never seen this happen in real life.
But you know what? Talk about freaking horrifying. So, okay, a quick aside. The reason office romances are so fun is probably because I know in real life, the thought of an office romance for me is like horrifying.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would never want this to happen to me literally ever. Working with my significant other would not work.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, okay, but it's fictional characters, whatever. So I get to enjoy it like in this little space when it's not real.
And I think too, it has that kind of element of like, oh, we're doing something that we could get caught for. People are going to find out. Like, we're going to get in trouble. Like, that kind of fun element that also would not be fun in real life, but is fun to read about.
Yeah. No, totally agreed.
Yeah. But yeah, the one bed never happened.
I've never heard of this.
But it happens so often in media.
Stories, yeah. It's true. I mean, hey, I'm all for a one-bed situation in a fictional story.
Yeah. So they have to share this one bed. They go out to dinner and get drunk. Also very common with kind of office culture.
Mm-hmm.
I would say
office culture, I think.
Yeah. So they go out, they get drunk, they come back. They kind of like taunt each other into sleeping together.
It's literally like they're just bullying each other. Like, I bet you couldn't even do it.
And they do it.
And they're kissing. They're like, I bet you're a bad kisser. And he's like, oh yeah, I'll show you.
You just gotta love an enemies to lovers.
I know.
So they end up hooking up on this one night stand, and then they go back to work the next day. They're kind of talking about it, and Youngwon is kind of saying, how can you just move on from this? Like, he doesn't have that much experience, and Hyunwoo, we find out, is a little bit of a player. He has more experience with one-night stands, and so he's just happy to move on and, like, be fine with this, and Youngwon's having a harder time with it.
Yeah.
So they end up going back and continue to talk, and Hyunwoo kind of proposes to Youngwon, like, why don't we just become fuck buddies? I think we had a good time. Like, it sounds like a good idea. You want this, I want this. Like, why not? We don't have to date. We don't have to like each other. This can just be what we do. And Youngwon agrees to this. He also ends up telling Hyunwoo, like, that he doesn't really have any moves. He's just got a big dick and that's it. Which I think is, like, really funny because Hyunwoo has clearly never heard this feedback before. He is shocked. But this is where we also see his personality of he is a hardcore engineer. He's very like, you give me the inputs and I'm going to give you the outputs. So he tells Yeonwang, like, tell me what you want and I will give you it.
He's going to give the output.
So Youngwon ends up telling him, like, hey, I want you to slow down. Like, I want some romance involved. Like, you need to get me in the mood. Like, this is just not working for me. You're just, like, jumping the gun and going all the way for it. Mm-hmm. And, like, we need to slow things down. So Hyunwoo does, and they, like, start getting close. This is when they start getting closer. And this is the intimate moment that we see that they have that is kind of cut out of the Manta version.
Well, for good reason. It's
18 plus content.
Yeah.
So there's a reason that it was not in the Manta version. But we see that they have this, like, they're hooking up again, and it's, like, different. Like, it's slower. They're, like, sharing, like, you know, I don't know, affection more, I guess. Mm-hmm. And Hyunwoo, like, really feels like this is taking the next step for them. And Youngwon does too. But right afterwards, he gets a call from Jin-tae, and Jin-tae is like, hey, I have another blind date for you as an apology for the previous blind date. Mm-hmm. And we see that this blind date is somehow even worse than the first blind date.
I think Jin-tae should quit while he's ahead.
I think he should not offer anyone a blind date because The blind date that he ends up offering to Yeonwon is his first crush, who basically just like hooked up with him and like did not take his feelings into consideration, like made him feel really bad. We found out in previous episodes that this is why Yeonwon is like having a hard time like with like hookups and stuff like that. Like he doesn't want to hook up with the lights on because of this like really bad experience that he had with, what's the other guy's name?
I don't even know.
I don't even know.
Not worth it.
He's not worth it. We hate him.
We hate him. And you should too.
And you should too. So he's come back
We'll
to
call him
Korea. Craig. No. But basically he goes on this blind date and Yangwon is just like, oh no, like this is bad. Like, no, I'm not going on a date with you. The guy is kind of taunting him about it. Like, oh, you never got over me. Haha. Like, he's really kind of weird about it. So he doesn't seem to want Yeonwon, but he wants to torment him.
Yeah.
So I don't know what his deal is.
I'll be honest. So I know that like later on they talk about how this guy was like believed himself to be straight and he was like curious.
Heesung, that's what his name is.
Heesung?
Yeah.
So Heesung was like curious about his sexuality, like was wanting to experiment basically.
Yeah.
And so like the way he looks at Youngwon is just like, I can kind of do whatever I want. Like he's more like a pawn than a person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but when he comes back, yeah, he's just basically like, I'm going to torment you. So the date doesn't go well, but Hyunwoo finds out from some other shitty friends that Heesung is going on a blind date with a guy that he went to high school with, and Hyunwoo is recognizing like this story that they're telling about this guy as a story that Yangwon told about his experience in high school, and he realizes, oh, this is the guy that like really gave Yeonwon all that trauma, and like I need to go stop this. So he finds out where the date is, and he goes and basically finds that Heesung has like trapped Wonyoung in the bathroom and is like trying to just like torment him. And Hyunwoo goes in and basically just says, like, please don't cheat on me. Like, we're together, and it doesn't matter if you want to go for someone else, but, like, not this loser.
Please, baby, I know we fought, but come back to me.
Come back to me. It's great. And so then he basically takes Yeonwon away, and they kind of end there. But then, and I think that's the season ender, then there's one more episode where he basically goes to Yeonwon and says, like, hey, I know you want, like, all of that Prince Charming romance, and, like, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not a Prince Charming romance person, but you said that, like, you like the way I treat you, you think that I'm nice, and you think that I'm sweet, and, like, I can do that, and I think that we should be together.
Yeah, like, let's just try it.
Yeah. So that is the season ending.
Oh, it was so good.
Such a good season ending. When we come back for season 2, Yeonwon has decided that he doesn't want to jump into a relationship right away. He's still a little, like, iffy on Hyunwoo, and, like, is it just that he just wants to hook up, or does he really actually want to date me?
Interesting, though, because they were already going to be hooking up anyway.
Yeah. So, basically, Hyunwoo is, like, he's trying to prevent Yeonwon from seeking out other people.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, too, I don't think I mentioned this, but the reason Hyunwoo was basically like, let's hook up until you find someone that you want to date. And so now he's saying, don't find someone to date me.
Yeah.
And Youngwon is like, no, let's give it a trial month, and then we'll see. And Hyunwoo was like, okay, yes to the trial, I guess, but only 7 days. And we have to go on at least 3 dates. Mm-hmm. So they...
Engineers thinking through all of it, honestly.
Really. So they start dating on this trial period. And then basically, like, Yeonwon is starting to freak out because he's like, wait, how do I act now that we're trial dating? I don't know what to do. And Hyunwoo is basically just, like, treating it like they're actually dating. He's like, I don't think this is a trial. Like, I think it's going to go well. We're dating. That's it. So they start doing like really cute things where they leave snacks on each other's desks with little notes. It's super, super cute. I love them.
I love them.
I love them so much.
They're so cute.
So meanwhile, Hee-sung gets a job as there's like a consultant that they're having join the team. And Hee-sung, after Yeonwang rejects him, he says, okay, I want to work at this car company that they work at because he wants to torment Youngwon even more.
Yeah, like he hasn't had his fill already.
Yeah.
Douchebag. We hate him.
We hate him. So he comes, there's like all this animosity between them. It causes so many problems. Hyunwoo eventually ends up getting into a fight with him at a convenience store, which is like a great moment. That's much further on, but regardless, like it doesn't go well. He ends up recommending that Yeonwang goes to Germany to be on that team. And this is like a pivotal moment because it's like a really great opportunity for Yeonwang. And basically, Yeonwang and Hyunwoo have decided to start officially dating. And then immediately after that, he's asked to go to Germany. So he's kind of conflicted. He's like, do I want to go to Germany? It's a great career move. Or do I want to stay here with Hyunwoo? Mm-hmm. And he ends up deciding that he wants to go. And Hyunwoo is like, I support you. Like, it's not permanent. It's only for a year. You should go. We'll be long distance and everything will be fine. And so they end up going, or Yangwon ends up going. And then even before that, they like know that he's going to go and they start kind of hanging out more. Yeonwang ends up selling his place and moving in with Hyunwoo like temporarily until he moves there. Hyunwoo ends up proposing at an amusement park, which is the absolute cutest moment of the entire series. I love it so much when he proposes with the fireworks in the background. It was so cute.
He said he wasn't good at romance.
I know. And then they give each other letters on the plane. So Youngwon gives Hyunwoo a letter and it basically says like, you're the most romantic guy I know. It was so cute. And then Hyunwoo gives Yangwon this really long letter and then also a bunch of money and a credit card. And he's like, use this credit card anytime you miss me. And also I'm going to know if you miss me because this credit card, like anytime it's used, it will give me a text. So you better use it. It's super cute. And then it kind of wraps up with Hyunwoo has quit his job, didn't tell Youngwon about this, and moved to Germany. Also didn't tell him about that. And basically says like, hey, I'm going to find a job over here and we'll just be together. And that's where it ends. And we see that Youngwon is kind of like, at first he's like, this is you're crazy. You quit your job. You moved to a new country. You didn't tell me about it. Like,
they were on like a Skype call. And I love this part because literally they're on a call with each other and they're like, oh my gosh, I miss you so much, blah, blah, blah. And then he just shows up.
And then he shows up the next morning. And then Yeonwang kind of realizes, he's like, wait, like, the funniest thing is that Hyunwoo was like, oh, I thought you would like this. I watched a bunch of movies. I took the input and I saw that like these crazy romantic gestures are a part of all of these romantic movies. So I knew you would like this. And Youngwon is like, you're crazy. But then eventually he's kind of like, yeah, this, I do say that I want someone who's romantic. And that was romantic.
It was pretty romantic.
And I love it. They're just the perfect couple.
They honestly are. Like, it is the cutest story. And like, I smile all the time.
I mean,
you're laughing. You definitely feel bad for Youngwon. Mm-hmm. And like, you also get the background information as well. on like why they both take their job so seriously and why they butt heads.
Yeah.
So like you get to see them working better together. Like it's just such a good story.
It really is. And you see them grow together so much. And I adore them.
I know.
I adore them.
Honestly, I love them so much. It's such a good story. I'm so happy you love it. It literally was like it was made for you, to be honest.
It really was. Highly, highly recommend.
Yeah. And honestly, even if you're reading the Manta version, it's still wonderful and great. Mm-hmm. This is one, though, that if you're wanting to read the Leeson version, I just do feel like you miss so much context of their growth together, since a lot of their early relationship is a hookup.
Yeah.
So, my 2 cents. So moving forward to a title that is not an 18+ title, you won't miss anything. One of my new favorite office romances is called Aesop's Romance. Mm-hmm. This one is on Webtoon. It's only 27 episodes right now, so it's a pretty quick read to catch up on. But it is a romance comedy. There's some drama in there as well, but it's a romance comedy.
A nice
primarily.
little rom-com.
I know, a nice little rom-com. This one cracks me up. There has to be some sort of a K-drama somewhere in the world that is like almost this exact same story. So it's like reading a K-drama, but funnier, less dramatic, definitely. But the story revolves around Aesop Tay. He is the rightful heir to his family's corporation, the TK Group. And unfortunately, his stepbrother ends up kind of taking on this role because he ends up having a really sudden strategic marriage that kind of like puts him higher up in the hierarchy. And Aesop basically like goes on vacation, kind of has a little bit of a meltdown. And he's just like, I'm going to create space from this. I'm going to get over it. It's not like I worked my entire life to get to this point, whatever. He's like, at least I still have my great looks and all of my money and everything else. Well, Aesop basically comes back from his self-proclaimed vacation to find out that they basically have given him another, higher up position in the company. It's just not where he wanted to be. And they've also now assigned him a new secretary who happens to be a girl that he went to college with. Mm-hmm. He hates her.
So this is another enemies to lovers.
Shocking, I know. We've never read any of those. So the girl, her name is Mingyang Kang. She was like top of her class. Everyone like kind of looked at her as a know-it-all, but she was like very kind. She was just very like picture perfect, never like a hair out of place. Always knew the right answer, always in the right place, right time, doing everything perfectly. And like, it's just kind of annoying. We all know the person. Mm-hmm. So anyways, Mingyang does not want this job. She does not want the position at all. But the leader of TK Group comes up to her and says, I will sponsor your brothers if you take this position. Mm. And her brothers are aspiring athletes. So it's like very rare for aspiring athletes to find someone to sponsor them. And like the sponsor money is unreal. Plus she's getting a raise to do the job and everything else. She's worked with the company 10 years. And so she kind of has that battle of like, I really want to do this job because it's a raise. It benefits my brothers. But she's also like, I could be a senior manager and have more like responsibility and feel the career growth more.
Yeah.
And she ends up going with like the career path that doesn't make as much sense on paper, but ends up being like the better fiscal decision. Mm-hmm. So she takes on the position. She remembers Aesop from college and she's like, oh God, he's going to be a fucking handful. She's like, he just thinks he's the hottest guy around. Like, that's basically what he's got going for him. Like, he is really intelligent. He's very well spoken and like holds himself, really tall. She's like, but at the end of the day, like, he's kind of full of himself. And they butt heads constantly. Like, she's so on top of him. She's like, here are all of your meetings, all of your schedules, blah, blah, blah. And Aesop like basically tells her, I'm going to make your life a living hell. You will never want to be my secretary after today.
Oh my gosh.
And she continues doing it, if for nothing else than to prove him wrong.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I can't possibly like leave this job now that he's telling me I'm going to leave it. He can't be right. So just to spite him, she stays and she goes, I know you have a mountain of paperwork. And so when he's like in his car and his driver's taking him somewhere off schedule, she's like, I'm going to fucking wait for you. She says it all with a smile, extremely professional, and it just starts grinding on him so bad. Well, Aesop decides to basically like vent about this to his sister. And he's like, I'm so annoyed. Why is this happening to me? And she puts a bug in his ear of like, this is how all the romance stories start. Like, this is how you fall in love. Like, you fall in love with the person you hate, obviously. And he's like, you're fucking crazy. You know, like us. Mm-hmm. But she's not wrong, because basically they start having these moments together where like they're working overtime and he kind of starts to admire her dedication to the job and how organized she is, etc. And he starts kind of thinking back on why he hated her in the first place in the university. And it was because she never like failed to look him in the eye, which is like a new experience for him. He's
Interesting.
Like, usually people would kind of like cower in my presence, you know, like even girls who were like professing their love for me, they're like looking down at their shoes and they're all shy. And she like, no matter what position we were in, like if I was like doing better in the class, whatever, like she didn't have any qualms with like looking me in the eye.
So really it's that he was intimidated by her.
Yeah. So it's like he's intimidated. Mm-hmm. And you start to get this feel that like he, like, because he's got this bug in his ear from his sister, he's like, no, I don't like my secretary. I just, like, I admire her work. Like, we're coworkers and previous, you know, students in the same classes. Like, no. So anyways, Mingyong has a friend named Seya who is also a part of a very rich family. They're like, it's her and her brother, Hyunwong, who is basically like, they're like the little trio. Like they all grew up together. They were like BFFs. And so Seya has a blind date with somebody from a pharmaceutical company or a hospital nearby. And her mom's like, I swear to God, Seya, if you go on this date, I will not make you go on another date for like another 6 years. Like, just please go on this date. It's a family friend. Like, we just want you to be in a happy marriage, etc. And it just so happens that Seya already bought tickets to this K-pop group that she wants to go to. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I couldn't possibly cancel. I'm so sorry. So she ends up basically convincing Mingyong to go in her place.
We have watched a K-drama like this.
We have. It was called Business Proposal.
Yes.
And it was very good.
It was.
So funny. But it doesn't go the same. So Mingyong agrees to it. Like, Seya basically is like, I'll bribe you with money and food and all this stuff. She's like, I'll let you stay the night in the hotel that we're having the dinner at. I'll like pay for you to get all dolled up and like pay for your clothes and everything like that. So Mingyong goes, because honestly after that it'd be a pretty stupid decision not to. Mm-hmm. And she finds out that Hyunseong, the brother, has basically like talked up how Seya is to this guy. And so Mingyong's like, great, now I have to be like the super social drinker like Seya and like all of these things that I'm not. And that's fucking terrifying. Mm-hmm. So she goes to this date. The guy is like, okay. They have okay conversation. Like, she's not super attracted to him. She's like, I don't think he's Seya's type either, but I'll just be nice and cordial and then I'll leave. And the guy's like, I heard you're a really social drinker, so I actually made reservations upstairs. And they're in this really nice hotel. He's like, we'll go and get some drinks there and like it'll be fine. And she says no. Mm-hmm. She's like, oh no, I have to work and I couldn't possibly drink on a work night. Well, since Seya got her a room in the hotel, she does end up going up by herself to have a drink. And who is in this rooftop bar but Aesop Tae? And he's having a drink with a bunch of other people, enjoying his time. And he spots her and doesn't even recognize her. She doesn't have her glasses on. She's not in like her very formal work attire. Mm-hmm. She's in like this beautiful blue outfit. And she definitely catches his eye. And so now like all of his ideas of hating her is completely shattered.
Out the window.
Out the window. Because as soon as he realizes this is her, he's like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? So as Aesop sees her from across the room, he's like, what do I do? Do I go say hi to this girl? Like, she's really hot. I don't know. And he's like, no, maybe that wouldn't be good for appearances. And then the guy from the blind date had come up to have a drink by himself as well and sees her there. So he basically like inserts himself in the situation and he like kind of forces her to have a few drinks with him. And Mingyang is a lightweight. So she gets plastered and sloppy real fast. He's buying her all of these like fruity mixed drinks, you know, the ones that are really dangerous.
I was just going to say the dangerous ones.
Yeah, exactly. The ones that you don't even realize. She's like, oh, it tastes good at least.
It tastes like nothing.
Yeah, and that's when it's something.
Yep.
That's the rule. Remember that.
The less it tastes like alcohol, the more it is alcohol.
Exactly. And I can't explain that part to you. I don't have any of the expertise there. But so she basically gets shit-faced. And the guy is like, oh, I can help you to your room if you're staying here. And Aesop's like, no. I can tell that she seems uncomfortable that you inserted yourself into her quiet time and whatever. And so he starts like standing up for her. But at the same time, like, can't focus because she's leaning on him now. And he can, like, kind of see her boobs. And so Aesop's, like, trying to, like, keep a straight face. He's like, I can't even believe this is the same person. Oh, my God. Like, what the hell's going on? And he ends up scaring this guy away. But who shows up but Yeonseong, the brother, who now knows that Seiya did not go on the date herself.
Oh, no.
And sees Mingyang shit-faced. And Hyunsung and Aesop kind of have a little bit of a butting heads moment because Hyunsung just kind of like shows up and he's like, okay, I'm going to take you to your room now. And Aesop's like, who are you? Who do you think you are to take her to her room? Like, how inappropriate. And Hyunsung's like, interesting. I would say the same about you. Who are you to her at this point? And Aesop kind of has like a moment where he takes a step back. He's like, I mean, yeah, I don't have the right to do it either. He's like, I'm her childhood friend. And they kind of like make eyes at each other. And it becomes very obvious that this is his new love rival. So Aesop Tae kind of does whatever he can at this point. Like, he doesn't bring it up to embarrass Mingyang. He's just like, you know, work as usual. But as he gets really stressed out with some things coming up, Mingyang does like some really kind things where she like plans a little like outing for a weekend to like help him decompress and stuff. And they end up getting a lot closer, kind of like disclosing what their life was like growing up, etc. And so basically Aesop at this moment, he's like, yeah, no, I like her. Like, even if I don't like her romantically, because he's maybe still in denial, he's like, I like her as a person. And like, she cares for me. And like, this is an interesting feeling. She ended up like seeing him basically pass out at some sort of like a public event because people were taking so many pictures of him and he gets like a stage fright basically.
Aww.
And so she like now is a lot more conscious of how to like help keep him, you know, safe and comfortable in these like really awkward situations, being directly in the limelight. And she kind of learns too, she's like, he's a little bit of an asshole, but he doesn't want to be this involved in like the public face of it. Like, he is really smart and intelligent, and so he's great at running the company, just not great at being like the face of it, essentially. So they start to grow this respect for each other. You do see Hyunsung basically kind of being interested in Mingyang, and he has his own difficulty with accepting this because he had always looked at her as like his sister's best friend. He's like, it feels a little inappropriate, but like, when did I start thinking of her this way? And he ends up getting a consulting position at their company because he's a lawyer. And so basically he starts working on this project with Aesop and Mingyang.
This is like your perfect office romance.
This is my perfect office romance. So, I mean, there are so many little moments and I don't have to dive super into it. It's only 27 episodes. So I do really think that if you're interested, you should read it on your own. But like, the dynamic between the two of them, it's so funny how hot and cold it is. There are so many, like, just the reactions they put on their faces, like, it makes me laugh out loud. And truly, this story is a masterpiece. I mean, like, to every little tiny detail, I love this story.
Oh my gosh, it sounds great. And yeah, I think it's funny that like the first two that we've talked about are both just like our actual perfect office romances.
I know. I mean, it could not get any better.
Yeah.
Truly.
It's just a trope popcorn bowl for both of us.
I know.
And enemies to lovers in both of them. You cannot beat an enemies to lovers. And I feel like it goes so well with an office romance because you're forced to be together. So there's a reason that the enemies become lovers.
Well, when you're working with somebody, you're bound to butt heads.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
So it really does go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this is why office romance is not usually a great decision in real life. I'm just throwing that out there.
But it's so great to read about.
So great to read about, never to experience for me personally.
So the next one that I have to talk about is a really interesting take on an office romance called Planetarium. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of enemies to lovers, but not as much. Mm-hmm. So this one, I absolutely adore the concept of. Basically, it is like the solar system is an office, and there are people who are like representing the planets and basically just like are dealing in an office setting. So there's Luna, who's the main character. She is the Earth's moon. There's Sol, who is the sun. We have Polaris, who's another star. Terra is the Earth. We have Mars. There's basically just everyone. Venus is like a supermodel who used to be married to Sol and is not anymore. And
ooh, some drama.
Yeah, like Halley's Comet is the secretary for Sol.
So cute.
And Sol is like the head honcho because he's the sun.
Yeah.
So
everything revolves around the sun.
Yeah, and it's called, so they work at the Solar System Corp.
Okay.
So this is on Webtoon. It is 26 episodes. It's not regularly released. It's one of those ones that I found that kind of just releases at random. So it's almost like a little bonus every time it publishes.
Yeah.
But I just love this one. It's like such an interesting concept. The art is gorgeous. It has, the reason that I even originally found it is because I was looking for things where the art style kind of reminded me of Lore Olympus. Mm-hmm. And this one has like, Sol is yellow, Luna is kind of silver, Terra has like very gorgeous like tan skin and like looks like the Earth. So the characters kind of resemble the planets that they are. Mm-hmm. And that kind of reminded me just a little bit of Lore Olympus, which is why I first started reading this one. But the concept is great too. So basically, we start off with Luna, and she is just starting at Solar System Corp. So you kind of take over from your predecessor. They're like the Earth's moon always has someone who is operating it, but then they kind of cycle through the people. And she has not been working there yet. So she was summoned and has not come in, basically. And then we kind of see that she meets Sol at a party. It's his birthday. And he doesn't want to go to his birthday party, but he kind of is, he feels like he has to because he was married to Venus and they were like a very public couple. She was a supermodel. He's the leader of this corporation. So like they were the stars. And they're getting a very public divorce. Yeah. So he felt like I have to go and I have to like keep up appearances, but I don't want to. So he goes to this birthday party. And he ends up getting a lot of attention from a lot of people. He doesn't like it. And so he goes to hide in a room, and it turns out to be Luna's bedroom, where she is also hiding because she also didn't want to be at the party. So they kind of hang out in there. He's like, please let me stay in here. Please don't make me go back out to the party. And she's like, who are you? She doesn't know that he is Sol, the leader of this corporation that she's about to work for.
Refreshing.
Yeah, he probably does. He definitely knows who she is, and doesn't tell her who he is. And so then basically it kind of cuts to Terra. So Terra and Sol, or sorry, not Terra and Sol. Terra and Luna live together. And so they're going into the office the next day with Mars. Mars is absolutely in love with Terra. And so he just like follows her around like a little golden retriever that he is.
We love a golden retriever.
And he's also like super, super sweet to Luna too. And like basically like walks in with them both arm in arm and is like, you're going to get through your first day. It's going to be great. Aww. She's wearing this like gorgeous black dress. And then she's one of those girls who kind of gets cold very easily. So she puts on this giant sweatshirt that Sol left at her house. And she doesn't know that it's his sweatshirt because she doesn't know that it was him who she was talking to at this party. So she wears it in, and Venus sees this and gets kind of pissed and goes into Sol's office and thinks that she's a comet. And comets are like basically like the planets and the stars are working in what's seen as like the better jobs. So like graphic design, IT, systems, all of that stuff. And the comets are the secretaries. So that's kind of like the hierarchy that they're building on. So she goes into Sol and says like, I saw your little comet wearing your sweatshirt. Like, how could you let someone wear that to this office? Like, you know, this is bad for our image. Like, this is horrible.
Would someone know it was his sweatshirt, though?
Well, it's got a picture of the sun on it.
Okay. Yeah, they'd know. We'll just add to the list of Annie's dumb questions.
No, it's a reasonable question if you don't know what it looks like.
I'm like, okay, if no one like really interacts with him, are they really going to know it's his sweatshirt?
Oh, they're going to know.
But they're going to know. Sorry. Can't help you out of this one, bud.
So then, but she also gets in trouble, like, minorly in the elevator because she runs into someone who's like, don't you know we have a dress code? And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. So she takes off the sweatshirt. She goes to get started working. And this is where we start to see a little bit of background that she has some trauma. Like, she's a little bit insecure because her previous partner, who is Polaris, left her for being just a little moon. And her mom also kind of told her, like, you can't do this. Like, you're not going to be good at your job. Her mom is her predecessor and was doing the job before her and was just basically, like, tearing her down and saying, like, you're not going to be good at this. You can't do it and all of this stuff. And we kind of get to see that that is most likely why she hasn't taken the role on when she was summoned like she was supposed to. But we don't have a ton of background on, like, her and her mom's relationship, just some, like, flashbacks. We see that she's starting to clear out her mom's stuff because her mom also wasn't good at this job, apparently, because there's, like, no organization to any of her paperwork. It just wasn't good. So meanwhile, Sol is talking to Haley, who is Haley's comet, who is his secretary, and saying, like, you need to find this comet who's wearing my sweatshirt that I let borrow at this party because I need to
get it back.
Like, this is not cool. And so then they bring Luna up, and he's like, oh, it's Luna who's wearing my sweatshirt, the Earth's moon. This is not good. So then he's, like, talking to her and saying, like, yeah, sorry about, like, not telling you who I was at the party, but, like, you know, it's refreshing to not be known, all of that kind of stuff. And she's like, yeah, it's cool, I guess. I mean, you probably should have told me who you were since, like, you're a big shot, but whatever. And then he's kind of like, or she, you know, she says, like, I'm sorry I didn't give you your sweatshirt back. Like, here you go. And it kind of devolves a little bit. And he ends up offering her a check of, like, hush money, like, keep this quiet that we hung out kind of thing.
How dirty is this divorce?
I don't know. It's like, I mean, they're celebrities, basically.
Yeah.
So he's like, you know, I need to make this right. He's thinking, like, I offended her. I'm going to give her some money to make this right.
Yeah, that won't be offensive at all.
Yeah. And she's like, are you giving me hush money? What is going on? So she starts to storm out of the office and essentially quits. She's like, I'm not working for you. This is not working for me. This is not cool. So she leaves, and Venus finds out who she was, kind of like what happened, and goes and talks to her and, like, kind of tells her, hey, you know, she's freaking out. She's like, oh my gosh, I just quit. Like, I'm screwed now, basically. Like, I don't have another job. I just got here. Like, I just made a rash decision.
Yeah.
And Venus is kind of telling her, like, you've got all the power. He needs you. Tara needs a moon. And you are Tara's moon. So he's kind of screwed if he doesn't have you. Mm-hmm. And so eventually she does come back. They're kind of on the mend. But it's still, like, there's a lot of tension in their relationship right now. And we also see that Polaris, in the most recent couple of episodes, Polaris has come back as well. So Luna has been, like, getting to know her new coworkers. She's been getting into her role, kind of settling in. And then where we're leaving off is that she has gone to Soul's office to, like, give her most recent reports, and Polaris is there. And we know that she does not have a good relationship with Polaris, so there's, like, a ton of tension in the office where they are now, too. And so really, like, this one is super early on. They haven't even gotten to the really, like, romance part of the story yet. We just know that they're going to. And the art for this is absolutely gorgeous. I love this one. I can't wait to see where this story goes. I am definitely going to keep going with this. And yeah, I think you should check it out.
I love it. Honestly, I like that it's different.
Yeah.
Because I do have a very specific type of office romance story that I usually go for. So that's, like, a very different take on it.
Yeah.
I also have not gotten on the Lore Olympus train. Not for any reason other than me starting it now is so daunting.
I am telling you right now, you can read the 5 physical copies that I have of this book to get started.
I'm probably going to have to, because I'll be honest, like, it's over 200 something episodes?
Yeah.
And I've heard that it's coming to a close.
Yeah.
Like,
I also did tell my husband after I bought the first 4 that I would not buy any more. I have 5 now. I'm probably going to buy the 6th one when
probably
it comes
just finish
out.
it out.
I might have to.
I mean, you can't leave it
Half
not
complete.
completed.
Yeah. It's just, it would be wrong.
The listeners get it. They understand.
They support me. Let me know if you think my husband is wrong and I should be able to get all of them.
I mean, it's so spaced out. It's fine.
Fine.
We'll figure it out.
Actually, he's bought me a couple of them, so he's supportive.
He's supportive. We know. So I will say this one sounds a lot less daunting. And I am super interested in it. I feel like I know more about the planets and everything than I do the Greek mythology aspect as well.
There is some additional information too at the bottom of some of the episodes where it, like, gives you some history on the planets. It gives you some, like, here's where I got my outfit inspiration from, these different, you know, celebrities and things like that. It's really fun.
You know for a fact that I love a webcomic that teaches me things.
I think you would like this one. You should check it out.
I read that Restoring Art and Love on Manta, and I was like, this is the best thing ever. I'm learning so much about art that I never knew before. So great. I love it so much. So last but very much not least for our office romance highlight, I do want to talk about Punch Drunk Love. Again, I know we've talked about this one in our Masqueretto highlight, but it is too good to ignore because, again, it's just one of my favorite webcomics in general.
I think also when we talked about it in the Masqueretto episode, there were only like 5 episodes out.
Yeah, it had just come out.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing for You Get Me Going, so it's fine. We'll just talk about it again. So anyways, Punch Drunk Love now on Manta has 26 episodes. So it's just now starting back up and it's season 2. Whereas on Leezen, it's actually end of season 2 at 57 episodes. So again, depending on what context you want, etc., like you can kind of look at that differently. I, again, do really support reading this as an 18 plus webcomic. It's still wonderful and amazing on Manta. And that's where I started reading it in the first place. But it just, you miss so much context, especially considering the plot of the story being the enemies to lovers hookup. So
I think every single one that we've talked about today has had some form of enemies to lovers to it.
Probably. Look at who we are. You're telling me we didn't expect this of each other.
Yeah, I shouldn't be so surprised.
So for anyone who is not familiar with Punch Drunk Love, this is a boy love and it's a comedy. I would have to say a boy love comedy.
Yeah.
But this story follows Sunwoo, who is honestly the only way you can describe him is ordinary and average. He's got like the big glasses. He wears like a baggy, ill-fitting suit all the time. He is an accountant and he just like is very like robotic with the way that he does things. Mm-hmm. Like even his little chibis in the background are robots. So
super cute.
Very cute. But Sunwoo is like very stuck in his ways and he has kind of this secret crush that I don't personally feel like is kept very secret. He's pretty open.
He's got the diary that he writes about every single day in his drawer.
Yeah, he'll be like, this guy looked at me. Well, anyways, the guy is head of HR, essentially. And his name is Taemoon. And he's a hottie. Like, everybody is, like, pining over this guy. He's tall, he's blonde, he's built. I mean, like, Sunwoo picked a good one.
He's got the longest eyelashes in the entire world.
Longest eyelashes ever. And so Sunwoo basically just goes like, I swear to God, I could die happy if I hooked up with this man. Like, it's like my dying wish, basically. Well, he ends up getting the opportunity to talk to Taemoon, which is not a usual thing, because he gets called into the HR office. One of the managers at the company had used their card incorrectly. And then they tried to blame it on Sunwoo because Sunwoo was like, no, this is not a reason for you to use the company card and you need to pay us back. You know, being like actually good at his job. Mm-hmm. And so Taemoon basically brings him in to get his side of the story. And while doing this, his phone pings and the sound and the message that comes up on the phone is basically like their equivalent of Grindr or like a gay like men's dating app. And so Sunwoo's head like practically explodes with this knowledge. And he just comes out and he's like, sleep with me. Like, I know you're gay now. Please sleep with me. And Taemoon takes this a completely different way. Like, he's very taken aback. They don't know each other like that at all. And Taemoon thinks that he's basically being threatened. Like, I'm going to out you if you don't sleep with me. Like, not really giving him an option. Mm-hmm. So Sunwoo is like, oh my gosh, I'm begging on my hands and knees, please, dear God, sleep with me. And Taemoon is like, this vindictive motherfucker. How dare he use my secrets against me? And so Taemoon agrees, but decides to himself, I'm going to make this the most miserable experience of his life. And he's like, I'm going to be rough with him. I'm going to take him to like the dirtiest motel, like embarrass the shit out of him. He leaves money on the dresser to make him feel like a whore. And like, he just like no fucks are given. He's like, fine, I'll fuck you. But like, I'm going to make this miserable. Little does he know that Sunwoo looks at all of this in the best light. And he's just like, he left me money for a cab. And oh my God, I love when he's rough. Like, this is incredible. This is so much better than I even thought it would be. And so he is on cloud fucking 9. So automatically, miscommunication starts. Taemoon is continuing to try to resolve the HR matter where they had to be in touch with each other. And so he ends up having like Sunwoo go to basically try to resolve the matter himself, even though he knows it's not Sunwoo's fault. So Taemoon is like, hey, come with me to this restaurant after work. Sunwoo thinks it's going to be a date. And it was not.
Wears his best red tuxedo.
Where Taemoon is like, what the fuck are you wearing? You look absolutely crazy. Like, even the people in this restaurant are like, what is he doing? And Sunwoo just wears it so confidently. It's so endearing to see him like a little puppy just going around however he wants. And so Taemoon's like, give him the card and say that you're sorry and like make them switch over the transaction. And so Sunwoo does it and he seems like pretty dejected. So Taemoon kind of starts feeling guilty about it and he starts kind of asking Sunwoo a little bit about himself, ends up coming to the conclusion that because Sunwoo's parents told him he should wear glasses and not contacts when he looks really hot with the contacts and no glasses on, were because his parents were putting him down and like were awful and mistreating him. And so again, the miscommunications just start building and building. Mm-hmm. It is literally what propels this story forward, and it is just chef's kiss. It's just so well done.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get better than the miscommunication of him thinking that his parents treated him poorly. It is the same level as the Fallen Duke.
Oh my gosh, yes. If you want a wonderful miscommunication, that one definitely had me laughing out loud. I miss that story so much.
Me too. Bring it back,
please. So, anyways, Sunwoo seems kind of dejected, and Taemoon kind of starts thinking about himself and like his life and why he creates all these boundaries. He's like, honestly, Sunwoo's not like, he doesn't seem to be a terrible person other than the fact that he threatened me in order to have sex with me, which never actually happened. And so he starts thinking back to the fact that everybody's always used him like his entire life. He is basically the child of a mistress and a CEO of the company that they work for. And he's like, even though I'm a bastard child, I still have to live up to all these expectations. My dad never wanted to be involved, so he just showered me with money. So I kind of just bought my friends, and like no one was ever interested in me for me. So why does this guy say he likes me so much? Mm-hmm. Like he doesn't even know me. Like why does he like me? And he slowly realizes that Sunwoo really likes him and like has paid a little too much attention to him. And so Taemoon kind of gets these conflicting feelings and is feeling really lonely. And so end of season 1, you end up seeing Sunwoo basically like dressed in his best snakeskin suit in Taemoon's parking garage with like a bunch of fake candles because the parking attendant wouldn't let him light real candles.
With good reason.
Yes, because it's a fire hazard in a parking garage. And like flower petals. And he basically says like, please, Taemoon. And like Taemoon is taken aback. He's like, oh my God, what is he gonna do? And Sunwoo's like, please only be my fuck buddy. So they end up agreeing. At the season 2 start, we do get Taemoon and Sunwoo basically sitting down with one another and kind of like discussing what they're wanting out of, you know, being fuck buddies and being somewhat exclusive with one another in that sense. And Taemoon is starting to really reflect on how poorly he's treated Sunwoo. Like they've kind of come to the understanding that he's not threatening him or like wanting to expose him. Like he's just really, really interested. And so he's starting to feel really guilty now. He's like, he seems like a pretty decent guy. Like I probably shouldn't have been so hard on him and like really only had rough sex with him and like treated him like shit. So Taemoon is like, you know, what do you want from me? And Sunwoo just kind of like takes a sit back and he's like, oh my gosh, should I ask for bondage? Should I ask for costumes? Should I like, I mean, just like the kinkiest, like being a total pervert. He's like, oh my God, I should ask for all this stuff now. And Taemoon is sitting there like, wow, he has no response for me because he's so taken aback by how kind I'm being to him now. How poorly did I treat him already? And so Taemoon tells him, like, what I want from you is don't wear your glasses when we're having sex and stop wearing all of these eccentric clothes. Like, just dress normal. Like, please, for the love of God. And so Sunwoo's like, okay, I mean, that's fine. And he's like tousling his hair. He's like, stop gelling your hair back. Like, just leave your hair as is, etc. And Sunwoo like takes it all to heart. He's like, I will absolutely 100% listen to everything you're saying. So Taemoon and Sunwoo, like, they kind of start with their hookup relationship. They've already had a little bit of an interesting like tussle with other people in the office because they start to learn that people have it out for Sunwoo. They just don't like him because he's very, like, different.
It's like, well, part of the reason they don't like him, too, is because he's by the book.
Yeah.
He's very black or white on, like, his decision-making and doesn't leave a lot of, like, wiggle room.
To be fair, in accounting, there shouldn't be wiggle room.
Yeah.
And so it's why he's great at his job. But at the same time, like, they're basically, like, socially, he just, like, he doesn't get along with us. Like, he just shouldn't work here. And Taemoon, like, starts to see this, like, really ugly side of the company. Because he's like, okay, I get that he's, he acts different, but he's not a bad employee. Like, there's no real reason to get rid of him. And they're even trying to push Taemoon specifically to get rid of Sunwoo. Like, let's find a reason to get rid of him, which like really puts a bad taste in his mouth and makes him really upset. So he's like, well, why am I upset? And it's obviously because he's starting to like care for Sunwoo, even if it's not in like that romantic sense yet. But as they continue their hookup relationship, Taemoon ends up asking Sunwoo like, hey, did you have a hard upbringing? Because he like starts to put some things together. He's like, I know that when we talked about the glasses, you know, he seemed kind of dejected and said my parents just said to live an ordinary life. And, you know, he's like, I wonder how bad it was for him. And Sunwoo's like, oh my God, like fanning himself like, Taemoon's interested in my backstory. Like, we're getting closer to one another. And so he ends up explaining it like as clear as he can while still being a little bit vague. He's like, things were very ordinary. I have an older brother, an older sister. My parents were very by the books. You know, they dealt with money. And they were kind of what inspired me to get into this. They also told me to never care what people think of me, and I can dress in whatever's comfortable and whatever I feel fits me best, you know. And Taemoon starts drawing all of these ridiculous assumptions, like, oh my God, his parents must have been debt collectors working with gangsters, and that's where he got this ridiculous sense of style, because that's the only thing he ever saw. And his parents must have been so awful to him. And that's just not the case at all. So Sunwoo is thinking like, yes, I effectively communicated this because I told him about my parents. And all I did was tell him in a way where he wouldn't just assume my parents are rich or like I'm bragging, you know, that we were, you know, we did well for ourselves. And so he and Taemoon basically just like have this talk. They are both convinced that the understanding went through to the other person, and it did not. And meanwhile, Taemoon is having all of these problems with his own family. So he has his father who is basically like, you need to act right and start like stepping up and be like, you know, acting like the face of this company, because Taemoon kind of takes it upon himself to rebel and not really follow a lot of the strict rules they have for, you know, how to conduct themselves, whatever. And basically he's just like, no, I'm not going to do that. And they're like, no, you have to. You're going to be higher up in this company. You know, your appearances are everything. You're attractive. So you being a spokesperson will be extremely important. And they just kind of like start like ruling his life and like telling him what to do. And Sunwoo is like, you can do anything because I love you and you can do whatever you want. You're perfect and you'll do whatever you want forever. So Taemoon is like very conflicted, but he starts to really appreciate having Sunwoo around because Sunwoo really kind of helps instill that confidence in him, telling him like, you don't have to do anything that anyone else wants you to do. Like, you should be pursuing what you want because that's what you deserve. Like, that's what's best for you. So meanwhile, Sunwoo catches on to Taemoon, really not understanding his family dynamic. And he ends up inviting Taemoon home with him. And Taemoon very quickly learns that his assumption about them being loan sharks was incorrect because his parents look exactly like Sunwoo. Like glasses, dressed in the weirdest, most eccentric clothes. Like they just look kind of like goofballs. And Taemoon kind of confronts Sunwoo. He's like, can we go to your room for a moment? And they have this talk where he's like, what the hell? Why didn't you tell me that they were like this? And he's like, I did though? And I'm confused how you came to your conclusions. And as soon as I realized what you were assuming, I felt like the only way to explain it to you would be for you to see it in real life. And so Taemoon is just like, oh my God, then what's the excuse for the horrible clothes that you wear all the time? And he's like, they're not that bad. I like my clothes. So basically Taemoon ends up going and like spending more time with Sunwoo's family, who made it very clear that they are aware that they're basically a gay couple now and they support them 100%. And he just feels loved and cared for, which he's like, wow, I really had the wrong misconception. But also like, I'm sad that this is missing from my family. And it kind of gives him the strength to be like, no, I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to do what I want. And so they kind of take the next step in agreeing that they should be exclusive with one another as like dating partners as well. And Taemoon is like, look, you have everybody at the company going out, like out against you because of how you are. And like, I want you to be in a more comfortable position. We should just branch off and make our own company. And like, you can come and work with me because I like working with you. You're great at your job. No one should be putting you down for this, whatever. And Sunwoo's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know why they do that. And he's like, well, it's because you dress weird, whatever. And so Sunwoo kind of decides to like change his appearance in general for like the wider public, all of the other people in the office. And he like is wearing contact lenses now. He's wearing like more fitted clothes. And it's definitely like more reminiscent of what other people are wearing to the office instead of like the very blocky gray suit.
You know what I hate that he wears? I know you know what I'm going to say.
I don't, because he wears so many awful things.
The sleeve protectors. I hate those so much.
He wears sleeve protectors when he's like watering his plants and eating his food so that his sleeves don't get gross.
But he wears them too, like even while he's typing on his computer. Like he wears them all day long. And I can't support them.
I can't support that. We love you, Sunwoo, but we can't support this. So yeah, essentially Sunwoo is just like, fine, I'll start dressing how Taemoon likes for me to look in general because maybe that's more acceptable. Mm-hmm. And then people start looking at him differently for like not the reasons that Taemoon wanted. Because now he's starting to get jealous of how all these other people are seeing him. Like, he's hot. Like, he looks like an idol. Like, he's dressed up. He's got his hair all cut nice. And, you know, like, he's wearing normal clothes. And he's like, yeah, he's pretty attractive. And so on one hand, he's proud. He's like, that's my hot boyfriend. And on the other hand, he's like, that's my hot boyfriend. Get away. And so essentially, the CEO kind of gets wind that Sunwoo is dating Taemoon behind closed doors. And they end up like telling Sunwoo, like they show up in a limousine and they're like, you need to come with us. And so they like basically abduct Sunwoo. And Taemoon is so scared. He's like, I actually have never really felt scared of losing something, but I don't want to lose Sunwoo. Like, I don't want them to bribe him with money and he leaves me or anything like that. And so the CEO is like, yeah, you should do what we say because otherwise you'll never see Taemoon. And he's like, that's not true. Taemoon will see me because we agreed that we would see each other. That's how that works, you know, like just very calculated about everything. And so while Taemoon is like rushing to find Sunwoo and like knows that he's at the CEO's house and he's like driving as fast as he can, even though he's like, time is not on his side. He's already lost so much time when he finds out. He realizes that Sunwoo has held his own very well. He's like, hey, old man, who even are you? And he's like, are you trying to seduce Taemoon and you're just upset because I am a sexual rival? And he's like, because I don't think you have a chance. Look at how old you are. And he just starts talking crap to this guy who's like, no, I'm the CEO of the company. And he's like, oh, well, even still, like, why are you talking to me? Like, Taemoon's his own person. I'm not going to convince him of anything. So Taemoon finally shows up. The CEO has like already offered Sunwoo money. He's like, I don't need money. Like, I've got a pretty good job and I'm fine. So we'll just do this. And they end up sitting down together and Taemoon is just like so proud. And he realizes like, this is a relationship that I want to stay in for like the rest of forever, essentially. He's like, this person isn't going to leave me. He's loyal. He cares about me. I care about him. And like, this is how it should be. So he ends up basically getting them promise rings once they've left. And he's like, we should stay together. And then to kind of like curb towards Sunwoo's preferences, he ends up getting him a bracelet as well. And he's like, Sunwoo, you should wear this bracelet. And he's like, oh, okay, how do I get it on? And it has like a screw on it and like a key. And Taemoon's like, only I could take it off of you. And Sunwoo basically is like crying all of the tears. He's like, this is incredible. I Love this story. It is so, so wonderful. I know that it's end of season 2, so if you don't read the Leeson version, or even if you do, it's going to be a little bit until we get more. But I love anything Masqueretto does, surprising nobody. The artist Akdong is incredible. So they've done the art for a few other titles with Masqueretto, and it's always perfect. But I love Sunwoo and Taemoon as a couple. I love how they come together. I love how all of the miscommunications are resolved. And honestly, this office romance just constantly makes me laugh. And it's perfect.
Masqueretto has the best miscommunications, the best office romance. You cannot, the best enemies to lovers. You cannot convince me otherwise.
I know. I wouldn't try. But thank you all so much for joining us ahead of our little office trip to New York. If you liked all of these office romances, go ahead and let us know. Or if there's a new one that should be on our radar, we are always open to some suggestions. But thank you so much for joining us today on the Comic Queens podcast. Looking forward to talking to you on the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.